Put $12,000 down on this deal.
And 2 months later, we collected $20,000.
And to this day, we still own this home.
And we still cash flow on it too.
That means we have $0 left in this deal, like pretty much all of our portfolio.
And you heard that right.
That means we have infinite cash-on-cash returns on this property. It was a clean, and it is, turnkey home when we bought it. We had to do no renovations. It wasn't distressed by any means, and we never had a bank involved.
So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're going to show you exactly how we did it, every number, every step, and every decision we had to make.
Right, because this deal is 100% the perfect example of what creative seller financing looks like when you stop chasing the big score and start building real momentum.
Stay with us because the way we structured this is something you have never thought of. We know it.
Right. So before we get into the numbers, I do want to say something that you probably, or most people in real estate, maybe don't want to hear.
You and most other investors are walking past these deals like every single day.
Right. And it's not because the deals aren't there. That's why you're walking past them.
It's because you're trained to look for just one thing.
Right. You're trained to look for a flip. You're trained to look for a burr or the ugliest house on the block.
And what happens when a turnkey home comes up?
Right.
And that's one that doesn't need work, that doesn't have a massive amount of equity, and doesn't fit into your traditional playbook.
I guarantee you pass on it.
Without ever running a single creative number on it.
Right. So most investors, maybe even including yourself, you don't have a deal flow problem because I guarantee you most of these leads are in your CRM or maybe you even know of them. You don't have a filter problem. You've just been trained to see deals through that one singular lens.
So this deal would have failed every traditional investor's filter.
Right? It doesn't have enough of equity on day one. We maybe had $30,000 in equity. It wasn't distressed at all. I'd move in with my own family.
But when you run creative numbers on it,
right, it was the best deal that we did all year and actually almost up until this point in our career. So let's talk about how this deal came to us because every deal starts with a lead. Always.
Yeah, and this one didn't come from a marketing campaign. It wasn't from a cold text blast that everybody likes to do.
Right. We just talked about this in our last video. Tell everybody what you're doing at all times through social media, and this deal did come from a relationship from someone who knew us.
We have a local realtor we built a relationship with, like Mike said, not just, a name on our phone, an actual relationship with someone who knows what we do, they know how we buy, and that we can actually close.
Right. So one day she actually wound up just calling me, right? And she was like, look, Mike, Jay, I got a pocket listing. I know you'll love it.
And it was a beautiful turnkey home. Clean, move-in ready, fully furnished.
Every investor would have looked right past this, and I'm sure they did, right? Because it's not screaming opportunity to the naked eye.
But here's what we saw. It was a motivated seller and a clean asset that we could position the right way for the right buyer.
Right, and that combination in and of itself in creative seller financing is all you ever need.
The best deals don't always look like opportunities when you first see them. They look like opportunities when you know what to do with them.
This is how we structured this deal. When you're doing a deal, it is very important that you structure it with the acquisition strategy the right way from the start.
So we bought it for $160,000.
We put about $8,000 down to the seller on seller financing terms.
And closing costs were approximately like $5,000.
Right, we're all in from $12,000 to $13,000 on the day of closing.
Now, we negotiated this directly with the seller. So there was no bank, there was no hard credit pulls, there was no waiting for an underwriter's decision.
Right, and there's one thing that I love seller financing for is how we structured the numbers and the one thing that we did.
The seller gave us 60 days before our first payment was actually due.
You heard that right. That's 60 days. That means we had 2 full months to market the property, right?
Before we ever made a single payment.
The best part, right? And just think about what that means for a second, because that's huge. You can't do that with a bank.
That's a 60-day runway to find our tenant buyer, collect the option deposit, and fill the unit.
Before we ever had to make a mortgage payment to the seller.
That's not luck. That was what we actually negotiated.
Right. And what we see in the market right now is that most people, maybe even including yourself, they hear the word creative seller financing and they think it's a deal automatically. They just accept whatever terms come to them. But the key is making the deal work for you and work for your exit.
Every detail of this acquisition was structured around the exit before we ever signed anything.
We knew exactly what we were going to do with it before we even closed on it, and we structured the terms before we even signed around that.
And when we say exit, we don't mean how we sold it. It's just what we do with it.
So what did we do on the other side of this?
We listed the property for rent to own.
Right. We found a tenant buyer, right? So what is a tenant buyer?
It's someone who wants to own a house, but right now they can't go through traditional financing.
Right. And what do our typical tenant buyers and what did this tenant buyer bring to the table on the day they moved in?
They brought $20,000 as an option deposit from day one, ours to keep regardless of the outcome.
And then they also pay us $13.99 a month in rent. So we got a big check and then we get cash flow.
And on top of that, they're responsible for all utilities and maintenance.
So just think about that, what that means real quick, right? What did we bring to the table?
We brought $13,000 out of pocket to buy the house.
Right. Then the day the tenant buyer moved in, which was about 45 days after closing in that 60-day window, they gave us a $20,000 certified check.
That means we were $7,000 ahead and we still own the property.
Now, after holding costs, reserves, insurance, taxes, everything, we net clean in our pocket $354 per month.
On one deal, $0 left in.
Infinite cash on cash return, baby.
And here's what most people forget to factor in.
Now, think about when the tenant buyer, the whole point is for them to buy that home from us. So when they exercise that option,
There's an equity spread sitting on the back end of the deal too.
most of the time it is six figures. So you have 3 profit points on a clean property with no banks ever involved.
That's what we call borrowing without the bank. You don't need to refinance to get your money out. You don't need the right exit. You need the right tenant buyer to fund it.
Right, for you. Right. So let's break down why this deal worked, because most people still probably don't understand how or why. And what did we need to have in place to do the same thing? Or what do you need to do to have that in place?
Numero uno is relationships come first.
Always. Remember, we had told you this deal came from a realtor who knew us, trusted us, and thought of us immediately because of what we do and how we say things.
That does not happen from cold outreach. Okay. It happens from years of us showing up, building those relationships, and being the person that those people think of first.
All right. So if you're not actively building relationships with realtors, attorneys, other investors, other people, telling everybody what you do, you are 100% leaving money on the table.
So number 2, we negotiated the terms around what we were going to do with it.
We never accept the terms that the sellers put out on the table. We always go back and forth with that Romans framework we talked about. We give levers, we pull levers. That's how we got that 60 days till first payment.
That one ask changed the entire risk profile for this deal.
Without those 60 days till first payment, we're carrying the loan while we're looking for the tenant. So with those 60 days till first payment, we had no holding costs at all. It's as if we didn't have the property.
So always negotiate around your exit, not just the purchase price.
And then lastly is the tenant buyer. Finding the right one is the key point and strategy.
Most investors think rent-to-own is just a rental with an option attached.
It's absolutely not.
It's a way to attract a buyer pool that traditional investors can't access. People with income, with intent, with skin in the game. They're willing to put down a big lump sum and genuinely take care of the home.
Right, the $20,000 that was given down to us, it didn't just, besides it recycling our capital, but what did it really do?
It told us everything we needed to know about how the tenant buyer was actually going to treat the property.
Think about it. When someone gives you $20,000 up front to move in for a home that they don't own yet, do you really think they're going to destroy it? Do you think that they're not going to pay when it's non-refundable? Absolutely not.
All right, so let's run that back one more time with the numbers so you get a full picture of it.
So we paid $160,000 for it. We had $8,000 down to the seller that was due at closing with about $5,000 in closing costs. So we were all in out of pocket, less than 10% of the purchase price.
And then we got an option deposit for $20,000 collected on day one.
Right. So after everything, we were in the green $7,000 within 60 days of owning the home.
And don't forget, we have that monthly rent of $13.99, so we cash flow about $354 a month.
Again, no money left in the deal.
Cash on cash return, absolutely infinite.
Right. And then remember, don't forget about the back end equity spread, that big flip check.
3 profits, 1 deal, no banks ever involved.
Right. So if you've been looking at deals and passing on ones that you didn't think looked like traditional opportunities,
if you've been waiting for that distressed property with massive equity spread and the obvious flip,
right, there are deals like this one, I guarantee it, that are sitting in your market right now that are probably sitting in your lap, in your CRM. They're clean properties with motivated sellers that have a tenant buyer probably waiting to give you money.
You just need to know how to identify them and how to structure them in the right way.
And of course, that's what we teach inside Roman's Creative Academy. It's never just strategy. We actually help you with the execution. We help you find the deal, we help you structure it, and we help you exit on rent to own.
Like we always say, we work with a small number of investors because we are hands-on.
All right. So if you're ready to start doing deals like this one, make sure that you click the link below. It takes 2 minutes to fill it out, and we'll have a chat.
Yep.
All right. So in the next video,
we're going to talk about why your seller conversations aren't converting for you.
Right? Because you can find deals like this one. You can run your numbers. You can see the opportunity. I'm sure you can.
But if you can't get that seller to say yes to those terms, none of those details matter.
Right. And most people, maybe even yourself, are making the same mistake on every single seller call.
And you don't even know that you're doing it.
Never. Right. That video and in this next one is going to change how you show up on these seller calls, because that's our job to help you. So don't miss it.
See you there. Disclaimer. This content is provided for educational and informational purposes only. The views and strategies discussed are based on personal experiences and do not guarantee specific results. Real estate investing involves risk, and each individual's financial situation is unique. Always perform your own due diligence and consider professional advice tailored to your circumstances before making investment decisions. This is not a solicitation to attract investors, nor are we marketing any securities. Neither the hosts nor guests assume liability for any outcomes associated with the information provided.